Hi, I'm Ecogear from JML. Just spent a beautiful day on Lake Borumba with Matthew Langford. Plan was just to have a bit of fun. I'd been getting a few toga up at Borumba lately, so I thought I'd take Matty up to show him a bit of toga fishing. He doesn't get to experience it that much, so and Borumba's such a beautiful place for it. So up to a spot that I've been getting a few fish. We just crept in really slowly on his electric, and we started throwing the Nories Laydown minnow shallow. Now these guys have been doing really well for me lately. Been noticing the toga up there have been coming from a bit of depth up and smashing fish and then going back down, so you're not actually seeing them cruising along the surface so much. But they've been rising and eating fish off the surface and around the trees, lily pads. So to match the hatch, the little, as I said, Nories Laydown minnow is perfectly matched. In the bright sun and with a little bit of water colour in there, a bit of rain, the flash from the laydown minnows is exceptional. And these guys only run to that sort of 2 foot mark. So there's something that you can really, if you see a toga, you can cast it in there and just tap the tip of the rod, and you'll get these guys just to shimmy and flash in that water, and it really turns the toga crazy. As you can see by this guy, I've only landed a couple of toga and it's got some really crunching teeth marks in it. So been great fun. Really fine hooks, so I find the hookup rate's really good with them. They seem to really suck them in, and you get the middle treble sort of in the corner of the jaw. Toga are renowned for being a really hard mouth fish and hard to stay connected to. But these guys, the hookup rate's exceptional. And being able to really leave it in their face, you can really turn the fish on, and they'll follow for a long time, swipe, and it sort of doesn't spook them. So big long casts, fishing a lot of multi-structure, so open water, scattered trees, fringes of lily pads, and so on and so on. So it was just a big long cast, really small little tap 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 tap, pause, tap tap, pause, tap tap. So it's quite a finesse approach to chasing toga, but as good as chasing them on surface, I believe, because a lot of the times you can just see this lure about that foot down in that, just going out of that transition zone, and there's nothing better than seeing a big toga just appear from below and spread his wings and then shoot off and inhale it. So yeah, still very visual, similar to surface, but when the fish aren't really eating on surface, this is my go-to lure, the little Nories Laydown minnows. So the 3 main ones that I threw yesterday were the guys with a lot of flash, so a bit more of a solid colour. So we had the real bright gold, which was doing really well, which is your BR71H, and then you've got your BR107H as well, and they're the 2 golds that put off a lot of flash. I found in the middle of the day I sort of backed off to the BR238, which is a bit more of a whitey sort of wakasagi colour, I suppose you'd call it, and that just it just toned down the flash a little bit, and got a lot of little fellas interested in that guy. So it was sort of the bigger fish come on the goal with that real bright. I think it calls them up from the deep, and the little fish, the real spooky little fish, that silver is quite fun to have a play of. The other technique, we then moved off from chasing the toga, and we decided to go and have a look at some bass in the middle of the day. Matthew Langford is a wealth of knowledge on all impoundment dams. I can't praise him enough on his knowledge of dams, and he really puts a lot of time into with all the tournaments. His knowledge on suspended bass is just phenomenal. Look, it's not my forte, the bass fishing, but but with Matty's knowledge, sounded around, and he used his Lowrance Insight Genesis maps to just blew me away. The detail that those guys put on their maps was amazing, and so he sort of removed up into the deep onto about 30-foot flats, and we found the fish sort of moving from the ledge up onto the flat and then back off. And even in that 30 foot, there was a lot of fish suspended at about that 15 foot mark range. Now, suspended fish can be a hard fish to catch, especially bass. But Matty's sort of got a technique where he just persists. And look, his go-to a 3-inch power shad. These guys have got a really nice tail shimmy, but they also get a bit of a body roll, which sets them apart a little bit. So they're really good for that just constant wind. So what he's doing, what he seems to do when he's targeting these suspended fish is he'll fish them on a fairly large jig head. Now this is a 1/2 ounce, and this is the size that Matty was using. He was varying between a couple of outfits. He had a 3/8 and a 1/2 ounce, depending on what he wanted to achieve with the plastic. Everyone might say 1/2 ounce in 30 foot of water, why do you need it? Now it's not about getting to the bottom or anything like that. What the 1/2 ounce is about, what he's doing is his big long cast, and he's counting down. So it sinks fairly quickly. So he'll start off counting to 6, and then he'll start with a constant wind. Throw in some little twitches the rod tip just to get a little bit of extra shake, but he'll continue that roll through. Now with the 1/2 ounce, that keeps your plastic running at that depth. So wherever you start winding, a lot of the times you'll run that plastic through until it gets to the point where it starts to rise to your tip of your rod. And that's the secret, and that's why you need to use that heavier jig at those 3/8, that 1/2 ounce. And then it's just a process of cast out, count to 10, roll it back through, cast out, count to 12, roll it back through, until he finds the ultimate depth and getting it running through those active fish that are sitting in that 15 foot range. Now he's a bit of a whiz at it, leaves me for dead with the plastic fishing, but simply basically with the power shads, they're very simple to use. You've got a little bit of riding on the back, you just rig them up straight up the middle, come out where you've marked that point to come out, and that gives you a really nice straight plastic. Now that'll roll through the water. Now he got stitched up a few times from big fish, and as you see by the photos, we got some cracking bass. It's pretty good when you can have 2 50s sitting in the live well. If you can do that at every comp, well, the comps would be easy, but that's a different story. So Matty's go-to plastic yesterday was the Ecogear 3-inch power shad in eel colour, which is 278. And he can go through the stage of he will trim the top of the plastic and just make that a little bit smaller profile depending on what the fish tell him. So it's just adapting. So he's throwing them on spin gear. Here I was throwing it on the Perfection cranking and twitching new JML rods that are coming out very soon, so keep an eye out for those. But they're quite a soft tip rod, but with the plastics, all we're doing is casting and slow winding with throwing in a few taps as we're winding. Plenty of power down and low, and you have to manhandle those fish around that timber a little bit, which sets Borumba apart. There's a lot of timber, so you don't land everything you get, but really good fun.
Yeah, right. I can zoom from there.
Nice Borumba bass.
Beautiful.
That's a donkey. Beauty. They come out.
Donkey bass.
On the power shad.
Beautiful.
Yeah, baby.
Classic. Where'd he go?